Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. I know I am. My name is Natalie Joy Cannell, and I'm the Client Support and Administration Manager here at Enriched Academy. And I have the pleasure of presenting to you our webinar on the exciting world of retirement, getting ready for retirement, what financial freedom might look like for you. I hope you're going to enjoy it. So before we kick off, I want to show you essentially, well, what you can already see. I'm going to refer to what you can already see, which is essentially our disclaimer. Now, I'm an educator, I'm a professor, I'm a mom, but I am not a financial advisor. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a lawyer. So if there's anything that you are learning here today that you want to know if it makes sense for you and your family, we highly recommend you contact a financial advisor, somebody that you know that is professional and that can really ensure that whatever choices you're making are a good fit for you and your family. This is just for educational purposes. So I hope that you will enjoy what you hear today, but then be able to really put it into practice. And one of the places you definitely can go is CISIP. Now, CISIP Financial has an awesome partnership with us. We're really excited to be able to support everyone who works at the Canadian Armed Forces with our financial literacy information. And partnering with CISIP just makes sense because CISIP wants financial health and security for every member of the CAF community, and we want nothing more than to be able to support CISIP in that. And so, yeah, it's quite exciting that we're able to partner with them. We're providing these webinars, and we're also providing access to our online portal where you can get more education. Now, on top of what you're going to hear from us, you can always contact CISIP to work with one of their financial advisors because they do really understand what it's like having your military lifestyle with deployments and moving every few years and all the different challenges that your families may embark upon. And they don't just work with insurance, they're also working with different financial products, investments, different accounts, general financial planning, essentially, right? And being able to look to the future and see what you need planning with in the short term and the long term, debt management, saving, investing. And there's essentially a CISIP location pretty much anywhere you would need one in Canada. And they're also accessible online. So we'll give you that information at the end of the webinar so you know exactly how to reach them. But today, the financial freedom and retirement game plan. That's what I'm going to discuss with you today. Now, what we're going to discuss is finding out the critical, that's the correct term, personal finance numbers you need to be aware of to retire quicker. Find out more about how your pension works and how it will help you in retirement. Understanding other investment options for generating passive income in simple language. Learn how to create concrete retirement plans. And then obviously we'll have a chat afterwards. Now, let's see here. So essentially, if you kind of imagine your own personal financial journey, right? When you're taking a look at where I am and where I want to go, you need to know exactly where you're starting from and where you're headed, right? So the thing about retirement, what's kind of tricky is if you're imagining yourself, in Toronto in your 20s and retirement is all the way off in Vancouver, which is a long ways away. Canada's a big country. But the challenge is that often as we're piloting and flying across the country, it's only around the 40s, around, I guess the Rockies, where we start going, I maybe should be thinking about what these next 20 years are going to look like and then what things are going to look like after those 20 years. And really, you ultimately need a path, right? Because if you are flying from one place to another, you really need to know exactly which direction you're going in. And of course, if you do end up being in this position where you're kind of in your 40s and you start being a little bit concerned about the fact that I don't know how I'm necessarily going to get to this next phase of my life, that's okay. We're going to make sure that you have the elements you need to make sure that this happens smoothly for you. Now, everybody thinks of financial freedom a little differently. We use the term financial freedom is essentially a way of thinking of when you no longer need to work anymore, essentially. But ultimately, some people are quite happy to work for very, very, very long time. And some people want to not have the ability to work much earlier. So ultimately, really depends on what you feel is important for you and your family. But what we want to help you do is understand that building passive income, which is essentially income that you're generating without working at it, That's going to be the key to really ensuring you get to, financial freedom or retirement by the time you want. And really the best way of going about that is having certain assets that are creating that passive income for you that are then generating the lifestyle that you really want, right? So there are different types of assets you have to have access to in order to be financially free. Now, and I say you have to, the idea being is that most people when they retire, need at least 4 different vehicles of income. Right, so it's not just your pension, right? You may want to look at your pension, a registered retirement income fund, what you're going to get back from CPP or QPP as the case may be. There's old age security, there's guaranteed income supplement, there's then your dividend income, and then potentially real estate income, right? So when we're thinking about financial freedom and retirement, what we actually need to do is really take a look at all of those numbers and see where we are. It can be a little daunting, but we're going to talk you through it so that you feel confident doing so. So there are 2 things we recommend very strongly to help put you on a stress-free retirement path, and that is writing down those numbers. Now, Abraham Lincoln said the best way to predict the future is to create it, and we firmly agree, because essentially if you're like running a marathon without knowing where the finish line is, you wouldn't do that. That makes no sense. And ultimately, it's also like thinking about it like a GPS, right? You have to plug in the information where you are and plug in the coordinates where you want to go. Doesn't mean there's only one way to get there, but it will allow you to kind of see different paths to allow you to move to where you want to, right? So these critical numbers that you need to achieve financial freedom are your income average over like the best 5 years ultimately, because when you're thinking about your ideal retirement date, you'll want to base it on your number of years of CAF service as well, and you'll be calculating that based on your best 5 years, like your highest income. Next, you're also going to want to take up, your number of years you expect to be alive, which is like a weird one to calculate, but like you kind of have to do a guesstimate on that, right? So if you're thinking you're going to retire by 65, you may estimate you will be alive until you're 85, 90, 95, whatever you choose to have a number, right? How much you're currently saving each year will be important. The current value of your investment portfolio, the expected rate of return on those investments, and the rate of inflation. And then finally, the desired annual financial freedom income and other income during retirement. So I wonder if you have any sense of this. What is the average after-tax retirement income for Canadians? Now, this may actually surprise you. It is around $61,000, right? And some may seem like that doesn't seem very high. That seems very low. What's important is that you have to then assess what type of lifestyle you want when you're financially free, so that you can see if that particular number does make sense for you, and you don't have to do this on your own. If all of those numbers I gave you seem really daunting, we've made it easier for you. So we actually have a tool directly in the Enriched Academy portal that you all have access to. And if you don't have access right now, there's a link that you can join later. And all you have to do is plug in those numbers that I said, right? So you're going to be putting in, when you want to retire, how long it'll take you before retirement, and all that stuff. So we actually have a calculator that does the math for you, but we'll still talk you through the different principles, right? Okay, so one of the things you're going to do is you're going to calculate your monthly expenses during retirement, and then you're going to want to make sure that your monthly income will exceed those expenses, right? So ultimately, this is for any budget, right? You always want to make sure that what you're spending is less than the money you're making, right? So let's say you're doing an estimate and you're thinking, okay, we're looking at $2,000 in mortgage, $1,000 for food, $500 for utilities. Essentially, you do a basic sketch. Doesn't have to be like super exact, but this is a basic sketch based on the lifestyle you would like to have at retirement. So in this example, for example, we're looking at $7,200 as our monthly retirement expense goal, which then means you have to take a look at all of those income vehicles to see if that's going to be more or less than your goal. And we always believe if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. It is a classic line, but it's true, it works. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your access to the Enriched Academy portal, you're going to log in and you're going to find the retirement cash flow calculator. Again, don't love Excel spreadsheets, don't worry about it. We've made one for you. All you have to do is literally plug in the numbers and it'll do all the math for you. So you do that, you figure out what you think your budget will be during retirement. That's kind of like your first big step. Then the next step is really looking at the different vehicles for retirement that you're going to have. So a basic explanation of how your pension is calculated is that it's 2% times the total pensionable service times your average earnings, which is the best 5 years. Okay, that's not the sort of math you can do just quickly off the top of your head, right? But this is also why SISIP exists. So you can schedule a meeting with one of their financial planners and go, here's my pension. What is this math? And they will help you ensure that you've created the correct amount. So let's say in this example, we've figured out it's about $3,000 a month, okay? So that's your first income vehicle, is your pension. And you are very fortunate you have pensions, which is great. So that is one income vehicle. Now, did you know that you have to take money out of your RRSP at age 71? Some people forget that they can't just leave it there forever. Now, generally, we recommend you wait as long as possible before taking money out of your RSP because it is taxed, right? You are taxed on what you take out. But generally speaking, if you take it out later in life when you are making less money, you're being taxed less because of that. But we want to caution you on this because if you just pull everything out, it could be very expensive. So there's another option that you have, and that is RRIFs. Okay, so essentially what happens with those is that you are taking your RRSP and you're kind of passing it on like a relay race to the RRIF, right? The Registered Retirement Income Fund. And when you're around like that age of 71, you can pass it off to this account, and then it's you're not going to have to deal with those taxes in the same way. And you can still invest. There's obviously different terms for every account. So you'll want to really make sure that you are aware of the different terms for each institution you're working with. But you will want to open that RRIF account and transfer your RSP to your RRIF. Of course, working with SISIP will help you determine exactly what timing makes the most sense. Now, you can still invest through your RRIF. It's fine. Now, you can transfer those investments from your RRSPs directly to this new account if you like your portfolio, or you can choose where you want to invest your RRIF. Now, while it's in there, those investments are growing and the tax is deferred. You're not paying any taxes on it until you take it out. Now, you can't contribute to an RRIF, right? So that's the big difference. Like an RRSP, you are contributing to it regularly. Whereas the RRIF is like, it's the holding spot, essentially, for your RRSP contributions to then still grow, but you can't contribute to it anymore. That stays stable, right? So the RRIF, the way that it works is you're able to take out a yearly minimum amount, okay? Now you can withdraw more, but you can't take out less than the minimum. And this is of course because they have certain rules and they want to make sure that the government likes to make sure the money is in circulation to help keep the economy moving. Now you'll see here based on the age, the minimum withdrawal percentages do increase as you get a little older, just to make sure that they're, recognizing that the money is getting out into the economy. So RRIF keys to live by. So base your RRIF withdrawals on your spouse's age to benefit from lower minimums required, okay? So that's an interesting one. If you have a partner that you're living with, there are different, strategies you can use to pay or to withdraw less each year and, still keep more in your account for the longer term. Your specific situation will determine at what age you should take your money out. So that's why working with a financial advisor is very helpful. And once you turn 65, you can claim the 2000 pension income tax credit. There's all kinds of lovely little tax credits and things like that with regard that often a lot of us don't know about. So you may want to check with SISIP to work with them, or if you have, an accountant or another financial advisor, that could work too. So $3,000 for your pension, and we're going to estimate about $1,000 for your RRIF. Now, vehicles 3, 4, and 5 are our government pensions. You've been contributing to them all through your work life. This is when you finally get to reap the rewards. So first, we have your CPP or your QPP. 4 is your old age security, and 5 is your guaranteed income supplement. So out of curiosity, do you happen to know where Canada ranks worldwide with regards to the pension plans that they provide? We're actually 12th. So we're not in total top, but we're not doing too badly. So clearly our government is very concerned about caring for us and setting things up for us for success moving forward, which is great. Now, the Canadian pension plan is funded by you, right? You've been contributing to it with every paycheck you've had your whole life. And you can start receiving it at age 60 or even delay it to age 70 if you really want to. Now, this isn't something you just automatically receive. You do have to officially apply for it to, happen. So here's an example. You're working, they're paying you money. It's delightful. You love your job. Now, you contribute 5.7% to the pension plan, and your employer also contributes that. So ultimately, you're actually contributing 11.4% towards that pension plan. And when you become of a certain age, let's say your 60th birthday, that money now comes over to you. So what affects the amount that you get? Well, it's obviously when you started, right? So the earlier you start and contribute to CPP, the more you can accrue. Now, it also affects what age you want to start. So if you wait later, that could be beneficial. And of course, it's how much you contributed specifically, right? So I know for some people who are like self-employed, they haven't contributed much to CPP because it wasn't like automatically taken off, right? So the maximum you'll pay into it per year is around $6,999. So you can't pay more than that into it each year. Your maximum monthly income when you're retired is around $1,200, but really the average is around $700. And it's a 0.6 monthly reduction if you receive before 65. Again, they're encouraging you to only take it out after 65. And a 0.7 increase if you receive it after 65. So again, there are benefits to taking it later. There's all kinds of other specific benefits that you'll want to talk with, a financial advisor or members of, the CRA to better understand, right? But there's post-retirement benefits, disability benefits, post-retirement disability benefits, survivors' pensions, children's benefits, death benefits. Essentially, there are many different types of benefits that you or credits that you also may have access to. So that's something to consider as well. Now, there's clearly a lot of nuance in this, but we're giving you the basic numbers so you have somewhere to start. Next is your old age security. Now, that's funded solely by the government. You can start receiving it at 65, or you can delay it to 70 for a higher amount. And just like the CPP, you do have to apply to receive it. And with an annual retirement income of over $79,000, you'll see you're getting less than others because they're helping others more than those who are making a lot of money, right? So the maximum income when retired through the old age security is $778, and the monthly increase if you receive it after 65, so again, delaying retirement a little bit could be beneficial, is 0.06. So the maximum amount per person in 2023 was $25,019, okay? So, and that's with, if you add in the CPP and the old age security, it's about 25,000, right? And as you can see, the numbers will go up and down based on when you retire or when you delay. Now, you do have to remember that CPP and the old age pension are taxable, so they will have tax deducted. Such is the life of living in the country we live in, where our taxes go to our supporting our communities. So we now have CPP, we have RRF, we have employer pension. So you have 3 of them so far, okay? We're doing well. Old age security, we have 4 of them. Not bad. Now, we're not going to talk about guaranteed income supplement right now. This is generally only available to people with low income, but that may be something you're eligible for, hence why it's important to talk to a financial planner. And I'm not adding any dividend income right now because that really will depend on who you are and whatnot. And real estate income, well, not everybody has real estate property, but if you happen to have a second home that you are renting, then this would be another great income vehicle for you. So if you're taking a look at it right now, it seems like we're really not that far from the monthly goal. Apparently, if I do the math properly, we're only about $1,000 away from the monthly goal. So that's not too bad. So what you can always do is then go back into your retirement calculator, look at your budget and see, can I make some cuts? Can I make some adjustments? What can I do to ensure that I have the lifestyle that I want and feel stress-free during retirement? And really, education and action are the next steps. You want to learn as much as you can and empower yourself so that doesn't become a stressful situation, is something you can start looking forward to because you have a better sense of what's to come, right? So here are your next steps. You're going to schedule an appointment with SysUp Financial to discuss your needs. You're going to, add that date and time to your calendar, and then when you speak to your advisor, you're going to create that plan. And when you have a better plan of exactly what investment or asset vehicles you need to reach your goal, just start putting it in place. But having a plan just lowers the stress so much. If we continually stick our head in the sand related to retirement, like I know personally I did for a long time, and I know a lot of us did, that procrastinating does not help our stress level. So we want to attack this as soon as possible so that we have as much time as possible to achieve our goals. Lastly, I'm going to show you our two links, our two QR codes. On the left is where to scan to receive access to the Enriched Academy portal, our exciting partnership with SysUp, where you get access to our educational modules and all of the tools that I mentioned, these Excel spreadsheets that you can download. Easy. You just plug in your information and then we do all the math for you. On the right is the QR code to be able to schedule an appointment with SysUp. They're lovely people. They're looking forward to being able to help you. They understand what you're going through and they want to make sure that you feel empowered to be able to move forward with your finances as strongly as you can so that your stress level is down and that you can focus on doing the wonderful work that you are doing for our country and for your families and communities. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. It's my pleasure to be here with you. Again, my name is Natalie Joy. My email is support@enrichedacademy.com. And if you need anything at all, email me and use one of those two codes, or maybe even both of them. Use both of the codes. See somebody at SysUp, join our portal, and to get the maximum benefits of everything we have that we're offering with SysUp. All right, that's all for today. I thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.